Hi. Just waiting for a few more people to come on. How are you doing today? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. That's good. You ready for the workout tonight? Is you waiting to start on a Monday? Okay, I'm good. I just left out the store. I thought I was gonna get today off, but it didn't work out that way. I wish I could record this. I might end up having to start going into Can you hear me? Is there echo? Oh, why can she not see the link? Is this showing up on my Facebook timeline, or is it showing up in Crystals and Coaching? Will you do me a favor? I'm not in an area where I can multitask with multi technology. Could you share it for me and tag me in it? I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Can you see me? No, precious. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, that's fine. I think I just shared it. Okay, today today is basically a kickoff for what we'll be doing the next 30 days. Okay, I'll hold on. Are you back? I don't know how long the delay is. I wonder. That's gonna be too far away if I put it. Yeah, that's too far away. I'm gonna just have to hold it. Are you back? Okay. So today is just basically the kickoff. It's an introduction into what we're going to be doing the next 30 days. It is just to see where you at, what you classify as self love, what it means to you. Um, I would say get you a little notebook or journal and just keep a little self love journal. Um, it could be helpful if you wanted to have a little wall calendar, and you can even buy you some gold stars or silver stars, whichever your favorite, purple stars, and just, you know, you could have that calendar hanging in a convenient place for you, and you could just put a gold star or silver star, purple star, any color you want, star if you wanted to put stars. You don't have to, but you could just yeah, pink stars. You could just have like a self-love calendar or journal, whichever you want to do. I like calendars because they're just hanging there on the wall and you're walking by them, and if you got them in a spot where you're sitting or looking, um you know that you're supposed to do something. I do better with calendars than I do with journals, but I travel, so I do need to get me a travel journal or a calendar. But it's so much convenient having it just hanging there on the wall where you could just be like, oh, I'm gonna write this in and just write down. You could write down, um, take the time out to do something good for yourself each day, and just write it on a calendar. Um, or you can, um, write down a good thought that you had about yourself, a good positive affirmation. And, you can always go back and review whenever you feeling down or feeling like you're, a little depressed or whatever, or having one of those days where you're just having a lot of bad thoughts. You could just go and, um, take a look back at it. Okay, the dictionary meaning of self love is regard for one's own well being and happiness, or having high regard for your own well being and happiness, taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing your well being to please others. Self love means not settling for less than you deserve. And, we happen to do that a lot in our lives where we settle for less than what we deserve. It could be something little, like it might be the last, like you may be in the store and it might be only one of something, and you're about to grab it, or you grab it and then somebody come along and be like, oh, that's the last one. I was wanting one of these, and you're like, oh, you could go ahead and take it. So it's like you're sacrificing your needs for somebody else's. It's little things, but it still shows how we put other people ahead of ourselves a lot. um and just like the next 30 days, just pay attention and be aware of when you're putting other people first all the time, because the next 30 days, you need to kind of be a little bit selfish. That's what most people look at it as, because you're putting yourself first and making sure that you have and you're taken care of before others, even your children. You guys have to, you know, some people be like, it may look bad, but they always say, like, even, if you're on the airplane and they're like, put the mask on, um, you don't put it on your child first, because while you struggling and trying to put it on your child, you're gonna probably pass out, and then you're not gonna be able to save your child if you're passed out. So you have to take care of yourself first, and once you take care of yourself first, then you'll have what you need to be able to help others. And taking care of yourself first, um means, I know some people are empaths. So being an empath, a lot of your energy is drained by putting, to helping others all the time. And you may not be getting anything that can return to fill up those areas. So when you're constantly giving, 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 and not giving yourself anything back, you may end up feeling extra drained. So that's why you also need to put yourself first and make sure that you are giving to yourself, so you'll have something coming to you, because others may not always, you know, return the favor or whatever you need in that energy. So make sure you put yourself first and just make notes, like whenever you are about to or do put somebody else before you. um I know the easiest way to do it is just to isolate yourself, but I know that's not always possible, because a lot of times people can take away from you whenever they really don't mean to, and it's just how things turn out. So let me see. So basically, start becoming aware of everything that you're doing and everything that's going on around you. Um, today I want you to write down the intention that you want to set for yourself for the next 30 days. Um, decide, what exactly it is that you're expecting or hope to gain from this next 30 days. You know, And if you want to put your own little plan together on how you would go about um, doing things to increase your self love and your self esteem, you could do that also. So just try to give it your best effort. It only takes a few minutes a day. You might wake up, and because whenever you first wake up, that's usually, unless somebody wake you up or your phone is ringing or whatever, but most of the time, whenever you first wake up, and if you're not being disturbed by anybody, yes, positive daily affirmations are good. And you might do little self-care things, like you might, go get a pedicure, or you might take a spa day where you give yourself a pedicure or something, or you just take a day where you just pampering yourself. You might go buy yourself something, maybe a meal. You may buy yourself a meal that you like instead of cooking, or it could be different things that you could do. um, it might be you going for a walk in the park, looking at nature or whatever. It might be different stuff. So just whatever it is, just make sure that you're doing it for you, not because what somebody else say do. It's for you. I mean, I would probably have like a list of different things to do for each day of the 30 days. Whenever I come online, it'll just be like a little different homework assignment each day that you just carry on with you through the rest of the month. I'm basing it all off my ebook. Um, so it may be some things that I change around because I know time is short. um, but yeah, just make sure you include something in your daily life each day. And meditation is important. So if you can incorporate some meditation each day when you first wake up or before you go to bed each night, um, just take I would say about 5 or 10 minutes to yourself in silence. A lot of times I like to just sit in my car for, some time and just relax, sit in my car, because that's a place that you can completely have peace and quiet. Because sometimes in the house, you don't always get that peace and quiet. So you could just, if you have peace and quiet when you first wake up, you can meditate then and pray or whatever. Or you could just spend a few minutes in your car and just sit there and just try to clear your mind and free yourself of all your thoughts, and just try not to think about anything for about 5 or 10 minutes. It's very, very hard just not to think about anything and just clear your mind and just let your mind drift, because it's like our mind's constantly on the go, 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 and constantly got thoughts here, there, everywhere, and it's constantly going on. So just try to just spend 5 minutes to start off with. And it may not work at first. You might can hum to yourself and just hum. Um, they do that chat where you're like or you could just some monotone tone or whatever, where you just do it for 5 minutes or until you can clear your mind, or every time a thought comes in your head, you could just do that hum to just try to have a blank mind, so that that'll be a way for you just to relieve some stress each day, be able to really connect with yourself, like your inner self, you know, where you just don't have anything but peace of mind. I mean, a lot of people be like, can't you do it while you sleeping? I mean, you could set your intentions for it whenever you get ready to go to sleep, but overall, it's great just to be able to, when you're asleep, you really don't have that awareness. So when you're awake, you do have the awareness. So that's why the awake is important because you'll have that awareness of what's going on, and just pay attention to everything, how you feeling and everything. You could even count your breaths or, listen to yourself breathe in and breathe out. And you just take deep breaths in and out, um, and, deep breaths and just hold it for like 3 seconds and release it. You could do like a 6 count release or 6 count inhale, stuff. Yes, hum it away. um, so that helps, it don't have to be, I mean, I like to do the YouTube meditations, um, or is assisted or guided meditations. Um, but you don't have to. But you seen like the guy on the videos, he helps teach meditation. So whenever, even though I feel like his is too short because I can't really get into, but whatever is the best for you. Let me make sure I covered everything. But just pay attention to, you can write down where you are currently in your self love, how you feel about yourself, thoughts you have. You could just um, write down where you are currently, and then, just like I said, keep that little journal and see how you start improving and treating yourself better when you're more aware of, doing it. And sometimes, like even with the rose quartz crystal, um, you could just carry it with you, or every time you look at it or feel it, or, even having a bracelet. I don't have a rose. I got rose quartz bracelets, but I don't have any in my, you know, current inventory. They're on the way. So you can just wear your bracelet and, just take a look at it. Every time you look at it, you just think about loving yourself or self-love or whatever. That's just, it's sort of like it keeps your, mindfulness going, where you just like, you can hold it, meditate and focus on self-love, or, you know, different stuff like that. It's sort of like a proper tool that you can use, and you'll start seeing. I like to wear mine in my you know, I told you where I like to carry mine. I got to get those to you too. But yes, your intention and your determination will be what, makes you have success. And is when you're not used to doing something, it's going to just take a everyday practice until you get into a routine, so you'll know that it's something that you're going to be applying to your life each and every day. You can't just um, do it one day and then do it 2 or 3 days. You just have to keep doing it until it's a routine, because like I said, it's very easy putting other people first over yourself. And whenever you got to carry on. So we covered becoming aware, keeping your little journal, setting your intention for the next 30 days, That's why I'm gonna do these lives each day, hopefully. Instead of it being like the first journey where I was just lost, sort of, kind of, where I didn't have any understanding or idea what I was doing whenever I did my first 30 days of self love challenge. And I'm just like, what do I love about myself? That's something else you could write down too, what you love about yourself. Um, I couldn't think of nothing. In my first video, it was like I love my eyeballs because I could not think of anything that I really truly loved about myself. And it it was hard. And I know with me, it was always one of the hardest things for me has always been self-forgiveness. It was the hardest thing trying to forgive myself. I could forgive everybody else easily, but when it comes down to truly and honestly forgiving me, that was so difficult, and I struggled with it. And um, yeah, I had to go back and journey back into when I first started feeling the ways that I started feeling about myself in a negative aspect, and going back to the root cause of it, and addressing that, and um, correcting it, the um just forgiving myself for it, letting myself know that it wasn't my fault or whatever. um it's just a journey, and that's like a whole, I call that the inner child healing or inner child journey. Some people call it shadow work, where you're going and um returning to your thoughts from childhood or whatever, and um, trying to heal situations that you may have felt bad in, or um, things that shaped your adult life. Just go back, and a lot of things dealing with meditation, faith, all of that. A lot of things are all about imagination. Yes, childhood trauma healing. It's all about imagination. So, um, the thing that I did, if you're interested, I can send you a link for the inner child sleep meditation that I used, and it was on YouTube. So anytime you use music or stuff that you're gonna sleep to, I like to pray to God before I use it, for protection in case anything's in it, for it to be safe and everything for me, and not harm me in any way. I always pray over everything because people do all kinds of stuff these days, so I always pray before I use it. And this one, I did try to stay awake to see what it was saying, because you just want to make sure it ain't gonna be in the middle of it saying something that you wouldn't want it to be saying or anything. So I would listen to that, and just listen to it. You don't even have to listen to it when you're asleep. You could just listen to it before you go to sleep. And it's just positive affirmations, um, where you imagine seeing yourself as a child, and you being, you know, your current self and your current adult self, and you know, talking to yourself as a child, and hugging yourself as a child and stuff like that, to help heal those open wounds, or you know heal that past hurt. And it you may think that it would just be something crazy that wouldn't work, but it really does work, surprisingly. And you could just, you don't have to do it all in one night. It might be different things that happen at different points and times where you could just go back and, you know, do it, until you covered everything. And you could even write that in your journal, how you felt afterwards, or if you felt relieved afterwards, at peace. But today was the day all about setting your it's painful. It's painful because it's really, really emotional. Really, really, it gets deep down into the nitty gritty of that emotion. And yeah, you will probably cry. Um, that's why I say meditation, because you could set your intentions for meditation too. To, if you have like an issue, you could just think, or pray and ask God to show you where, at what point in your life, or what age, or when, or what was the first thing that um, set the intention, or set the you feeling like you be feeling about a certain thing, or a certain thing about you. And you can go there and, sometimes it'll come to your mind. You could just picture it. You could ask for it to play like a video, or the thought might come to your mind heavily of when it first happened, or first started feeling that way. And you can, you know it's like you'll be right in that situation when, like, it was happening right then. I know it's like I can be in my, in my child, looking out through my eyes as a 4-year old or whatever. I can be in that situation, and sometimes I'm standing on the outside looking at myself. So it could be in any situation. But yeah, the mind is a powerful thing, and using your imagination, even though it's not so much of using your imagination, I mean, I guess it would be, but it's like your memories. And I guess your memories, using your memories, would be using your imagination. So yeah, you feel everything that you felt back then, especially when those big moments occurred that at that point you probably didn't know was a big moment, but they go and um really make a difference in your life, and they shape your life. Even it could be something somebody said to you, or whatever. It's got those little things that you always remember, and you just be like, why do I remember this one particular thing? And it's always there. And I can't really remember anything before the traumatic events that started taking place in my life, but I can remember, like, I could at any point in time see it play out in front of me whenever I think about my, self at 4. And that those are like the first events that stand out for me, and they're very, very strong in your mind. Um, so when you set your attention, it's so much easier to accomplish something. So set your intention. Decide that you're going to work on your self love and self esteem for this next month of December. And you'll discover how wonderful you are. I mean, I always say you can't, you know, do it all in 30 days. It takes longer than 30 days. Like I said, it's a constant, everyday thing. You have to do it constantly because it's easy to get off track. Easy, very easy. But it's enough time to, get you into that routine. I won't plan on teaching or being on here so long. Let me see. What else do I want to cover? But I just go over this right fast. You'll begin to learn how to treat yourself well and put yourself on a road to self-improvement. But self-improvement has nothing to do with gaining things like society values. It's about be, to become it's about becoming the type of person that you admire. Do, 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 do. So, self-love is largely the result of your habits. Like that's why I say even with the workouts, um, that's something that'll just add that dopamine. See, it'll be rough the first 2 weeks, but then it'll be little stuff like you might feel a muscle that you ain't never felt before, and you be like, oh, I got muscles here or something. Or you might just have all this energy. You'll see doing it like before you go to sleep is not going to be good because you're going to have all this energy, and you're going to be like, oh, my body's tired, but I want to keep going. It's something that it really picks you up, and you'll see. um but as you start doing little things, you'll start being more pleased with yourself, and you be like, you know. And another thing, you know setting your intentions, and doing what you say you're gonna do. That's another thing that matters a lot, because whenever you start doing what you say you're gonna do, it just seems like all this good stuff start flowing. And I need to work on. I said I was gonna get into a routine, but I decided. I mean, certain things I may put into a daily routine, but having a routine, a set everyday routine from morning to night, that's too hard. But you just have to schedule time for yourself into your everyday routine. But I know I need to get on track. But the way work is set up right now, it has been so hard to have free time. But a lot of the way we feel about ourselves is set, society. You might, as a child growing up, your parents says certain things to you, or your family members, your friends. It could just be a little thing. You could even watch the television show or movie, and all these things, shape your mind. Um, and you're taking it with you throughout your life, because you see it here, maybe on a TV show, or you hear it from your mama, your daddy, your grandma, your aunt, uncle, anybody, or you might hear it at school from friends, and it might be a repeating thing, but it's not real. It's something that society's put out there in all these people's minds, so they carry it with them. So a lot of times we have to cancel out, which is hard because it's like you've been taught something your whole life and have this whole belief that this is the way it is. I know I'm on Hood Street, so Hood Street. Um, but I'm at the store, so I feel like I'm safe. A lot of people walking around here at nighttime though. But yeah, society puts that stuff in our heads. It's even like whenever we're um we're got to get um whenever we do something good we get rewarded. At school we might get a gold star, um a trophy, a certificate. So we start getting in this process where or your parents might give you a reward if you do something good. So we're getting in this process that we have to do something that's good in the eyes of other people and getting that reward, that we got to get that acceptance and that appreciation from other people instead of ourselves. Like whenever you do something good for yourself, you should be able to be like, I did great. I did a good job, no matter, not being dependent on what other people say or think. Because you might cook this best meal, like you might fry some chicken and offer me some chicken, and I'm just like, no, thank you. But it wouldn't be because your meal wasn't delicious. It's just I don't eat chicken. And you might be feeling some type of way because I wouldn't taste your chicken. And it's just because I don't eat chicken. But it's like you can't base the things about yourself that make you feel good and make you happy. You can't base it on anybody else because their senses of what they enjoy and they like might be a little bit different from what you like and enjoy. So you have to just focus on what makes you feel good. If you know your chicken is good and you eat it and it's good to you, then that's all that matters. It shouldn't be you having to get approval from somebody else. I mean, it does feel good whenever somebody say, yes, that's good, but you got to be able to give your own self some gold stars and some certificates and trophies or rewards, instead of relying on it coming from somebody else. So a lot of people will, have this determination, what they determine the degree or level of self love is based on. Some people um, feel like it's based on your education, which really doesn't matter. But, a lot of people might be like, back in the day, a lot of people might be like, oh, I didn't finish high school. And, they might feel bad about that. Or another person might be like, they graduated from college or and got their PhD or master's degree. So that's where people start looking at themselves. That's whenever you start comparing yourself to other people, which you shouldn't do. You shouldn't compare yourself to people to determine your self-love. Can you still hear me? Because like it doesn't matter if you just got your high school diploma or somebody else has their PhD. That doesn't make them better than you. you know you have your things because some people got natural PhDs that they born with. Even with the schooling system, like I say, it still all determines. You can work hard and do your best and still may get low grades or whatever, it's still all in that whole facility of being judged, always being judged about something. So that's why you just have to know that you do your best. As long as you do your best and know that you do your best, that matters. That's what counts. Because you know your degree of effort that you put into something. It don't matter what other people say or what ends up on paper or what other people say about you. It's about how you know if you're doing the best that you can do at something, you know, it's good, it's great. If you know that you put forth an effort at something, even when you feel like you didn't feel like doing it and you know you gave it all you had, and that's what counts. Even whenever we get through this workout tonight, you might have to stop and take a few breaks, but you trying, giving forth your effort. So things that you shouldn't, things that shouldn't determine your degree of self-love is your education, your body shape or attractiveness, um, your career, your financial situation, your possessions, your successes and failures. Sometimes your failures are what make you. That's something that I had to go back to and start seeing where my failures, or what I thought were my failures, were my lessons and learnings and teachings that shaped my destiny to put me in the situation and the place in my life and made me who I am. That I am now. So it's like I had to go back and learn how to accept it and appreciate it. My failures. No squats. Girl, squats are great. But you just have to go back and appreciate even, you know, the places where you felt like you failed, because they all shape destiny. You can do 10 squats today, and we'll end up doing like 200 in 30 days. Or do 5 every time you go to the bathroom. Mhm. So your success and failure shouldn't um, determine your degree of self-love, um, and the people you know. You know, I danced with and have a picture with Hillary Clinton's husband. So it don't matter who because some people are like, I know such and such. Well, that's them. You're you. It doesn't really matter. But those things shouldn't determine your self-worth or your self-value. The key to loving yourself, or the keys to loving yourself, are to know yourself and to be on a path to become a person that you respect, a person with integrity. You know you're amazing, but you got to start realizing it. You're amazing. You just got to start realizing it. That's the whole thing. And then whenever you start seeing improvements in yourself, like regular improvements where you're, taking little extra steps off your daily routine and trying new stuff and all that, you'll start seeing where you start being excited. Like I say, when you start exercising, you start feeling those muscles coming in, and you start having all this extra energy, and you start seeing that you can do stuff that you couldn't do before without getting tired. Or you might lift up a I don't know if you flip mattresses or whatever, but you might flip a mattress by yourself or something like that. You'd be like, oh, I can see this change. Um, but just as long as you take those steps forward, yeah, walking stairs. But as long as you start taking these steps forward, because once you start taking steps towards what you want and what you're reaching for and striving for, that's whenever you'll start seeing where you'll start noticing how all this stuff start working out for you, and then you start seeing all these good things that start happening where you might be thinking about, oh, I want some fries, and then you'll be like, I really don't want to get no fries, but I want some, but I'm just gonna get a drink. And then you get to the window and they give you some free fries for some reason. I didn't have that happen twice. I was just thinking I want some fries, but I really don't want to order fries. And then I get to the window. I remember I ordered um order fries, and then whenever I looked in the thing, because I had ordered um dunking a meal, and then whenever I looked in the bag, it had two orders of fries in there. And I'm just like, oh, I didn't even order fries for me, but I wanted some. I was just gonna eat some of Dunkin's, but it had a whole extra fry in there. And then I went to one place and ordered Dunkin' some food. And I was like, it would be nice if I could get me, if I got me some fries, but I'm gonna get me something to eat somewhere else. And then they gave me a free Happy Meal. And I'm just like, I think the person that ordered it had drove off or something. So it's like you'll start seeing where it's stuff start just happening for you, and you just be like, huh. But I know it always takes for you to be in a happiness mode where it's like you're just happy and appreciative and accepted, and most people probably look at you and be like, are you on something? And you just be like, I'm high on life. But it really is like you might be all dingy and happy, and people looking at you like you're crazy, and they be like, what's wrong with you? And it isn't, I always say it doesn't feel like reality. You can't constantly look at the real world and truly be happy in that a level of happiness. You have to let your mind go to this place of happiness, and or you can might focus on something that make you feel really really good, really really joyful and cheerful, and you might just take that feeling with you, even if it was somebody making you feel that way. um you have to realize that a lot of times the great things, the good things that you see in somebody else are a reflection of what's truly inside you. So you can also do that too. Write down what you um, think about somebody that you admire a whole lot, somebody that you feel, that you like a whole lot and see a lot of great characteristics um, in and everything, and write down all the good things that you think about that person, because in reality those are all the good things about you, and that's just you're seeing it shining through, like it's reflecting like a mirror reflection from you is bouncing off of them, and you're thinking, oh, this is how I feel about that person, but it's really how you feel deep down inside about yourself. And you just, for you to think those thoughts about somebody means that you think that way about yourself. So just you could just write that down, because those good thoughts and feelings that you might think about somebody that you um think the world and all of are really thoughts and feelings that you have for yourself, that you may not even know that you have for yourself, but that's what they are. So Whenever you think about what it is that you love about yourself and you can't think of anything, just think of that person that you love and admire and respect highly, and you just think of all the good things that you think about them, and you know, there you go. That'll be your list of what you love about yourself, or some of the things. Um, and where you live isn't a matter of self worth either. Mhm. So basically, we're working on developing the right habits, like the calendar thing, because that way you can see. If you're looking at your calendar on the wall and you see you haven't written anything in for today, and it's 10 o'clock at night, then you got to say some positive words to yourself so you can get that check. You could do a check mark too, or you could get you a crayon and draw you a flower or star, or you can actually buy you some stars. It don't matter. But, as I'm like, with a calendar in front of your view where you're going to be looking at it every day, you will be like, oh, I ain't wrote nothing on my calendar today. And you just, make sure you just take care of yourself each day. But, whenever you have somebody doing it with you, it's easier to be aware of it. And, just keep an open mind, because I might throw some things out there that may sound a little cuckoo or crazy, but, you know, it's all about using your imagination and just going with the flow and enjoying it. Like I say, you get into that good feeling of something that makes you feel great, like bring you joy and whatever that feeling is, and just take that feeling and feel it, and just try to stay in it as long as you can. It would be great to stay in it always, but sometimes you do have to come back to the real world, because it does it might make you seem really, really loopy, but it's it's just wonderful to feel that way. And you know, it's hard to smile, but whenever you think about those feelings that make you smile, when you think about it, that it's hard not to smile about, it just makes you feel really, really good. Especially on those days that you're feeling low and down, you know, that really helps. And you can also, think about why it makes you feel good, or how it makes you feel, what feelings that you have going on um, from it. So I think I pretty much covered everything, because this is just the kickoff. We start our um officially start the 30 days tomorrow, December the 1st. So, and make sure you may not be using the right criteria. Like a lot of views and values today is based on society, and with everything being based on society, um, we may be comparing ourselves to other people a whole lot more than we should in measuring what our success level is. Um, so don't be measuring your self-worth by whether you're wealthy or poor, more or less attractive than the average person, where you failed more times than you were successful, or whether somebody succeeded more times than they failed. Um, don't go worrying about other people. Like I said, don't compare yourself to other people. Um, just focus on you and be selfish. Selfish, selfish, selfish. All right, and let's give you a list of few things that you can do in achieving self-love. Become mindful how you treat yourself, how you treat others. You can just think about, would stuff that you do for other people, would you do it for yourself? You know, whenever you go out your way for somebody, do you go out of the way for yourself? Um, and how you think about yourself, the thoughts you have for yourself. So um, just be mindful, and like I said, journal. See how much love you're giving other people and how much love you're giving yourself. You can even um, treat yourself like you were the other person, and how you treat them, you treat yourself that way when you're, doing all this stuff for other people. Um, Act on what you need rather than what you want. Um, Whenever you stay focused on what you need and turn away from, behavior patterns that get you into trouble or keep you stuck in the past and less in self-love. Um, what that says to me, in a way, the way I look at it and view it is, a lot of times, a lot of people give into their pleasure. For instance, if you bake a chocolate cake, I don't know if you like chocolate cake or not, but if you bake this delicious chocolate cake or brownies, and you should only eat one brownie or one slice of cake, but you're might be all into the pleasure of the way it tastes, how it tastes really, really good, and then you end up eating, let's say, 5 brownies or 3 slices of cake or something, and they might be them big old thick slices. So it's like, a lot of times, our bodies have these self-defense mechanisms. Like, whenever you would taste, because everything that is determined, everything that we gain into our awareness or our programming or what we're taught, we're learning it through sight, smell, taste, or hearing it. And the most strong ones are, um, where we feel, comes from our sight, ears, and you could just say mouth, whatever we're telling ourselves, even if we're telling ourselves these things in our head. But our observation, our learning, we see something, we smell something, we hear something, we taste something, we feel something. So when it comes down to taste, if your body has these self-defense mechanisms. So like, if you taste something that's not good for you, usually it'll taste out, it might burn your tongue, close your throat up if if it's something really bad for you, burn your mouth. It'll have all these things going on that says danger, danger, this isn't good for you, this is hurting. You smell something, it might burn your nose, something might burn your eyes. Your eyes start watering, your nose may start watering. Um, if you stick your hand in uh boiling pot of water, you're gonna feel the pain. Um, something's real, real loud, your ears start hurting. You be trying to cover your ears up. So whenever it comes down to pleasure, it's like we override these self-defense mechanisms. It's like, you know, I guess the easiest thing is love. Let's say you're in a relationship. You might be in a relationship, how people stay in abusive relationships. It's not just because, they may not like getting abused. Most people look at it as like, why do they stay there? It's because they're getting something out of it that's, that they want. Well, it could just be the attachment, having that person there, or maybe they do something for them because they may provide them with money, may you know whatever is pleasing to them. Because it's like when even people with addictions, um, it's all people do things for pleasure, and somebody might overeat. They might eat to the point where they might be so full that they can't do nothing else. They might be so full that they are uncomfortable because the food tastes so good and they didn't want to stop eating it. It's like different things we override, even though our body's saying stop, stop, stop. When it comes down to pleasure, we keep going, 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 overriding and ignoring these things, saying, oh, this isn't safe, isn't good, you should stop this. We ignore it. So whenever it comes down to self-love, if it's going to be something that you're going to be saying, why did I do that later, then it's be aware, be mindful, take note of your thoughts and feelings about it. You might do it and just later just take, a note and say, okay, I knew if I ate this whole um pizza or whatever, I was gonna feel bad later on. Or it could be anything. But if you do purposely, because most of the time your mind is telling you, oh yeah, I shouldn't do this, but you go and do it anyway, and then later on feel bad about it, just write those notes down too. So you just keep in keep your mind aware of the different things that you do each and every day. um so that's why, you know that to me is the description of act on what you need rather than what you want, because what you want may not be good for you. Practice good self-care, and that's where you might go extra out the way, doing that little extra thing for yourself, like a pedicure, manicure, shopping, um, teaching treating yourself to something that, buying, it could even just be um taking your time out to meditate, listen to your favorite music, maybe reading a book or poetry or whatever. It could be anything, but just, do something for you. Um, because whenever you taking it could be working out, that's good self-care. um, Let me see. Set boundaries. So I think I already sort of kind of covered that a little bit, where you're making time for yourself, even if you have to say, um, I need to go to work, but I do my meditations in the morning, so I'm not going to go to work till after I do my meditation. Or, it might be different stuff like that. Like this is the week leading up to my birthday. So I may end up having to push some of my work back because I've been working too much and I need a break. Um, but just, set boundaries. Don't do it like I'm overworking myself where sometimes I don't sleep like I should. And then on each and every day, I'm just awake, awake, awake. And then finally, I might sleep and I end up sleeping the whole day, which isn't good. I just need to go ahead and get my sleep each night and, just push work aside because I'm starting to see where my boss make things out to be a big deal. And then things aren't as big of a deal as he make it seem to be. So I think I am doing too much and I can, make more time for me instead of doing all this superhuman stuff that is too much to do in a week. So yeah, just set boundaries. Too much of anything is not good. Even too much of a good thing is not good. And, when it comes down to your pleasures, you know, like I said, we give into our pleasures too much, even whenever it may exceed our health. Protect yourself, you know, like I said, sometimes it may be spending time to yourself. Um, is like people, you know, they can they can lead to bringing you down in some type of way, whether they mean to or not. They may not do it on purpose, but it happens. So sometimes if you just need time to yourself, just take that time and be to yourself. If it means just separating yourself from people. I know it's hard to do with your family and stuff, and sometimes you just feel like you need a break or a vacation or get away and you can't. That's you know having your car in office that comes in handy, especially you traveling a lot. You have that time as you driving for yourself where you can, clear your mind or think about things you want to do, or say positive affirmations or listen to positive affirmations or listen to your favorite music, or it's always good. I like to listen to music that hype me up and make me feel good. And I just blast it while I'm driving and just sing it over, loud while I'm driving, just something just to um, take your mind off of stressful thoughts. Or, might be stuck in traffic, I might be sitting in the car just listening to music, moving, just to just stay awake at times. Um, but it's you just have to find something good in any bad or negative situation. You know, if you have to wait 15 minutes or an hour in traffic due to an accident, just listen to your favorite music. You might do your little workout sitting right there in the car. You know, I'm just like, just be try to be thankful. Look for the good in bad situations because you might get stuck in traffic, but that might be your time to do your little car workout or figure out how to do a car workout. I used to do car workouts all the time. I need to start back doing them. Um, Forgive yourself. Like I said, that's the hardest thing to do. It's so easy to forgive other people, but when you're trying to forgive yourself, that is the most difficult thing that I've experienced. So, um, that's something to work on and live intentionally. You know, um, live with a purpose, make, set your intentions on what you want for your life, for yourself, sometimes meditation, which would clear our mind. You set your intention on what you want the answer to. You ever notice that you might be sitting, trying to, having a question about something, and then you're or trying to find the solution to something, and you're sitting there and you're like, all of a sudden this idea or thought comes into your head, and that's the solution, that's the answer. Have you ever noticed that? So that's something that meditation will also help with if you're having a problem that you need to resolve, or you were trying to find out a different way to do something, or even find out what you're good at, what your gift is. Um, you know, you just meditate and it may come to you. I had to go to find out what I was good at, which, people kept saying I'm good at talking. And I'm just like, good at talking? I'm shy. I don't like talking to people. I can't even, I'm country. My voice is country, and I have a speech impediment where I can't say certain words properly, and I get tongue tied at times. And I'm just like, how would I be good at talking? Um, so it's still, and the shyness. um, I know all of that is like fear, and fear is another thing that holds you back a lot of times. And fear is like the number one thing. Whenever the chain, fear is one of the biggest chains. Fear is what kept slaves, because the slaves could have freed themselves anytime. They could have left. They were afraid to. They were afraid of dying. They were afraid of, being punished. Um, but the ones that, tried to escape and they ended up dying, they died free. They, even though they had to go through the consequences and suffering, they achieved what they were trying to do. They may have died, but they died free in their mind. They weren't being healed. Um, but fear is the number one. I know even back in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve hid because they were ashamed and feared. They were afraid. So it's like fear, and you won't try a lot of stuff in life because of fear. I'm too scared to do that, and I remember I used to be so scared to drive on 95. Oh my goodness, I used to take 301, go the back way as much as I could to keep from getting on 95. And then whenever I had to go further out and venture further out, and I had to be on the highway, oh my goodness, that was so hard at first. But I've been driving all over the place. Yeah, excuses. That's another one. Procrastination. That's one I suffer with. I got to start doing, because I see where when I procrastinate, that thought, just if, even if you have some work to do and you need to do something, or you need to clean up and you haven't cleaned up, all the time that you spend thinking about it is taking your energy, and it's taking your freedom in a way, because you're thinking about, I need to clean up, and you're thinking about it all the time until you actually get up and clean up. And then once you clean up, you sort of kind of feel relieved because you got what you needed to do done, instead of saying, I need to clean up, I need to clean up, I need to clean up, where it's going to that pattern of me saying that I'm going to do something. And then, I keep saying I'm going to do something, but it keeps bothering me until I do it. And once I do it, I'm relieved because it's done. So that's something else. Just don't let things hold you back, like fear, excuses, procrastination, um, different stuff like that. So those are the things that um, I mostly wanted to focus on, that I may go over again or may not go over again in the next few days. These things are pretty much all in my book. So I know there's probably a few other things that I wanted to cover, but my mind is blank right now. And yeah, so yeah, talking and thinking yourself out of doing something. A lot of people think, what if I do this and I fail? And I'm just like, what if you don't do it? You won't have a chance of succeeding. If you're definitely gonna fail if you don't do it. But you do it, you still have that chance of progressing. So that's like something you just have to keep in mind. Don't talk yourself out of doing stuff. Just it may take time because it's like things seem like they're gonna be easy at first. Like I know the situation I'm currently in, where I'm scared to take that leap of faith completely. Um, so I'm working towards it. I mean, even being on here live on Facebook, because usually I would go on YouTube because I only got 40 subscribers on YouTube. But um it's different on Facebook. I got all these um people on my Facebook page that I only got 40 people on YouTube. Um Even though YouTube is more of a, people are more they're there because they know what you're about, they know what you for, and they support you. Um with Facebook is different. So whenever you put yourself out there, yeah, it'll be some rejection, people talking about you, people laughing at you, making fun of you, but you doing what you're supposed to do, so it really doesn't matter what they think or say, because you know your reason for doing something. And if it's something good and you know that it'll help somebody, then do it. So, sorry for keeping you so long. This is only supposed to be like a 10, 20 minute. Um, can you hear me still? I don't know. Stuff is doing crazy stuff. I'm gonna have to put my phone on the charger. But whenever it comes down to it, whenever you're doing was what you feel is good and helpful, even if you're doing it for yourself, it's like a lot of people don't realize that our stories, the things that we've gone through in life, it may help somebody, that may be going through that same thing and not knowing how to get through it. And you got through it. So you can share that with people. So that's one of the reasons I get on here and talk, or on YouTube and talk, because it might be somebody going. I mean, I've come across so many people that's been in the situation that I've been in, and especially when it comes down to depression. I remember how bad my depression was, and I can, I can see people's way out and see what's holding them and binding them in depression, even with addictions. Um, but until people really, truly, and honestly want to change, they're going to always um, be in those situations. But the key is, in any situation, is trying to find the hero in you. Like a lot of people look up to, the famous people or the rich people. They look up to them and be like, oh, such and such is my hero. A lot of children look up to a lot of the sports stars. Some people look up to the singers. So and so is my hero, but or their role model. But you should be your own role model. You should be your own hero, because when it comes down to it, you don't know what these people are going through in their lives. They can, express what they want to express on, social media, on TV or whatever. But in their real life, or what's going on in their head or in their feelings or heart or whatever, you never know what they're going through. And that's something else. A lot of people say, oh, if I had all this money that such and such had, and then such and such is over there trying to kill themselves, you're just, if you got happiness, happiness is more important, and it trumps money any day. So when it really comes down to it, you just have to find out what makes you your hero, because you got to hit, you are a hero, your own personal superhero. And that's another thing, like, everybody focuses on Jesus as did all this wonderful great stuff, but Jesus was telling us that we are all capable, we all can do this, great things. Everybody has their own great things that they are good at, that they're gifted at, that God gave them, brought them in this world to do. And that was Jesus's thing that he was supposed to do, what he did in the Bible, all that stuff where he taught us the way to go. you know but people are focusing on the wrong thing when it comes to Jesus, and being like, we're supposed to be like Jesus and do what Jesus did. We supposed to do what we're supposed to do, that God wants us to do. That was Jesus's purpose. We have our own purpose. That's why people try to be like Jesus and fail, and they feel like they are less than, or they coming up short, because they try and do something that may not be their purpose. So I'm not gonna keep you long. I still got to drive home, get off of Hood Street in the murk. Uh, so um, tomorrow, I mean, each day is gonna be shorter. Today wasn't supposed to be as long as it was. Sorry, but this is just a kickoff. You know, because people may have more self-love for themselves than they realize and just don't know where to look for it. Like I say, you know, think of something you admire in somebody else and write those characteristics down, because 9 times out of 10, that's for you, what that's what's in you for you, but you just seeing it shining off somebody else. Um, and set your intentions. Um, take notes on how you feel. Um, and because before I didn't know where I was going, but now it's got more like I got a more structured approach on how to do these 30 days. So it's exciting to do these different things. I haven't ran through it yet, but I'll be going through it with you for the first time and everything. So this is different from what I did first time. Before, I went through that whole inner childhood thing. And, it took me from February till August to get through everything. But, once I found a love for myself, once you start um, appreciating the bad and the good things, and, start trying to find good in all the things that you think are isn't good, it's bad or whatever. You start trying to turn that stuff around. And, if you can get to the point of walking on cloud nine, it really feels good whenever you can reach that point and, having this heaven on earth feeling. Because I've had lots of dark days. So whenever I started feeling joy, and a lot of it comes from actually understanding what God's love is. God's love is unconditional, and a lot of times we set conditions on our love for people or for ourselves. But when you realize God's love and how unconditional it is and how much it touches the world, and how he always, it's sort of like the love we have for our kids. Even though we're not going to stop loving our children just because they mess up, we'll still love them and forgive them, and it'll be a repeating cycle. So whenever you think about how God's love is for us, where he's willing to love us unconditionally. And you have to realize that, we are connected. We're all like one. So whenever it comes down to that, it's like I want great things to happen for you. And I'm happy when great things happen for you. I'm not gonna be sitting here jealous or saying, oh, I wish I had this or what they have. You gotta be happy, you know, happy for people. So I guess it's that time because people standing here staring into my car. So I guess it's time for me to start moving. So I hope y'all have a great night. And I guess I'll see you at 10 o'clock. You want to do it at 10 o'clock tonight or 9 o'clock? 10 or 9? I should be, I got about an hour drive. I can't see where you at. I think it's down behind my car. Oh. Okay, 10 o'clock. So I'm not advertising covers it up. So I should be home. I probably won't work when I get home. I should work, but I'm not. Um I am. Okay, he's going that way. Oh, yeah, that's not my way out. All right, well, I've enjoyed this. Sorry I talked so long. I guess I might be good at talking. I just need to come up with a way to simplify my words. Um, or simplify what I have to say so I can say in a whole lot less time. That's whenever I need to start taking, I guess, writing things down like little cliff notes on what I need to say so I can stick to a point and not be all over the place because just like I'll say something and I go all the way around in a circle and then come back. But I do it for a reason to clarify, but everything for the longest time I hope I'm going the right way. I am. For the longest time I spoke in metaphors. I hope these people ain't following. For a lot of time I I used to talk a lot in metaphors to try to protect what people think and stop coming across too harshly. But at this point now, I see where my tongue may be really, really sharp and to the point more so because I just, instead of, whenever I used to talk with metaphors so much, it was like me beating around the bush. So now it's like I'm more to the point, even if it seems like it's hurting somebody's feelings. It's not so much to be hurting their feelings, but sometimes, even if they end up hating me or not talking to me for months, sometimes certain things need to be said. So I will end this live now so I can put my directions home on so I won't be lost out here on these streets. So I will see you yeah, see you at 10. All right. Thanks for joining me. And trust me, the rest of the week is going to be a whole lot shorter, or the rest of the month. The 31st, I don't know, or everybody's New Year's Eve plans. That's what I'm saying, 30 days. I may do a little special something on the 31st. I don't know. But, it would be great to do like a Zoom call so that everybody that participates or anything can join in to show how much they overcome their fears or their anything that was holding them back. Yeah, like a sort of kind of graduation ceremony or something. But we start the class tomorrow. Woohoo! But let me get off here and I will see you at 10. All right. Bye.